Okay. Um, so I'm just gonna explain a couple of instructions or things for the week two of the emotion art project. So I apologize. Some reason my webcam's not working today, so I'm just gonna be talking and just going through this PowerPoint. So I'm gonna keep the instructions very very short because you guys should have a decent idea of what you should be working on with week number two. But just moving on to the PowerPoint here. Basically, you're just continuing with your project. So, depending on the art medium that you use to work on your project, you can be obviously doing a couple of different things. So, drawing, painting, digital art. You're just gonna be at this point you should be completely done with the rough sketch, and you should start working on the file drawing. So if the rough sketch does look neat and clean, you may complete it. You may use it and complete it by coloring, or you could shade it on top. So if you remember like the example I showed you before. This is what I was working on before. So I actually worked on the drawing level. This is like the original drawing that you saw before. It wasn't really anything that was fleshed out or that looked complete, but I worked on the drawing a little bit more. But this is kind of like at the part that I'm at. But if I were to continue with, this is obviously what I finished for week one. I just completed the drawing. I have these things actually look like what they are, like this Apple Watch, eyeballs, there's like a cell phone, laptops, and then these iconic social media things. So I have like a really good foundation for like how this drawing will look, and I have like the clouds with the break in the sky, which are where the sunlight's going to come out. So, obviously at this point now, if what I would be working on for week two is, I would begin to either color or shade the drawing. I'm probably going to work on it in black and white, and there is a way where you can make it black and white and then change it to color on the computer, but we'll kind of see what happens with week three if I want to like go into color or not. So that's kind of like at the part you should be at with drawing. So you should be completely done with the initial drawing and work on the final drawing. For photography, you either did one of two things. Either finished up with the planning for what photos you want to take, obviously, if you want to plan something a little bit more conceptual, it takes a little bit more planning, especially, you're figuring out like how you want to position people, angles that you want to use when you include the background of your photos. So that does take a little bit of planning and preparation to do that. Whereas, if you did like a theme on like nature, you could just go out and take photos because, nature's just like, right outside your backyard or your neighborhood. So, you're either doing one or two things. You're taking photos, you're starting on your photos this week, or I just want to continue with taking more photos on the theme. And then, for like the third week, or if you feel like you're done with photos, if you wanted to, you can take your best photos into Photoshop and you can edit those photos. So just like the week before, 3 to 5 photos you'll turn in. If you can, try to take 20 photos. 20 photos you take outside or inside the house, and you pick out your 3 to 5 best ones. Or if you want to start editing your photos, you can do that. Just turn in the edited photos. So that's kind of like what you should be working on week two is taking photos or editing them. Clay sculpture. At this point now, if you did like a rough sketch of your model, or if you started your 3D model, just continue with it or start on 3D model. So that's basically it for that. Okay, and if you feel like you are done with your project, or you're not really sure on like what to do next or what to work on, what to fix, just wait till Monday. I want to say Monday. I'm gonna look over everybody's work, and so I'm gonna look over your work on Google Classroom. So just make sure to submit it over the weekend if you haven't done it by Friday, and I'm gonna give you guys helpful feedback on what you should you know work on. If you're lost on where to go, I'll give you a little bit of direction on like what to do. But I'm gonna give you guys a lot more one-on-one feedback using the Google Classroom, and I'm gonna give you like more one-on-one feedback. As we continue with working on this project. Mainly like the first week, the emotion wheels. I gave you guys some, suggestions and feedback on some of the emotion wheels you guys did, and you guys did a really good job with the emotion wheels. I was really excited with, the drawings, concepts, and ideas that you guys came up with. But some of you that drew like just only the faces though, think about like an idea you can elaborate. Hopefully, elaborate on one of the ideas that you want to do for your project. But I was really happy with the emotion wheels that you guys came up with. I'm really excited with what you're doing for your for the final project for this. Okay, so other things to keep in mind of, this is all the stuff I mentioned before. Second week, you should start on the, actual project now, because it's more like planning and preparation we did the week before. Sketches, planning ideas, looking up things. If you've already started, just continue with your project. And then, just like I stated before, I'll give you feedback and things to work on Google Classroom. So just make sure to check back on Classroom either Monday, Tuesday, see what feedback I have for you. So after this week, we'll just have like one more week to complete the assignment. So, just like the week before, take photos of your progress or upload your digital art as a JPEG. And just email me if you have any questions. Okay, so now some of you guys will have questions or some other questions specifically for like the end of the year. If you were kind of listening in on the news about school, technically school is closed for the rest of the year, but the distance learning is continuing. So, just keep in mind of these dates. Seniors, your last day is going to be May 15th. So that's going to be, I want to say next week. Yeah, next Friday. So next Friday will be your last day if you're a senior. Okay, and then everybody else will be June 16. Okay, so if I'm a senior, because I do have a lot of seniors in my classes, do I have to complete the art in motion project? So technically, you don't have to. If for some reason you can't finish it by next week, you only need to upload your progress thus far. So just like I said before, I'm not giving a point value for this project that we're doing. So there's not really any rubric or anything specific that I'm looking for in this project. Again, this project, it's not really about the end product. Whether this is a good-looking work of art or whether it's not. This is all kind of like experimental, and I really want you to delve deep and think about like the concept and kind of like doing the art making. But this project, just like I said before, motion art project. This is art therapy, so hopefully you feel a little bit better, making this type of art. That's kind of like the essentially like what you should, this essential goal of the projects, to make you feel good, making this art because it's letting you express your feelings and emotions. Whether it's something that's negative that you're trying to put on the paper or something that's positive that's happening in your life right now. But there should be some positivity with the project that you're doing, and in my case, doing the social media piece with like the eyeballs and kind of demonstrating that there's like that light at the end of the tunnel. It really made me think like a lot about not being so like focused on like what's happening in the news. And I say this before, not being so focused in the news and worry about like things that are happening in my life right now, things that I can actually control. I can spend more time with my family. I can provide for them. Obviously I can't stop the world from going out and trying to go back to work or restarting the economy. But you get the idea though. It's just like it really just puts a different perspective on like what's happening in your life, and it kind of like lets you think things a little bit differently. So will we be continuing to do school like this next year? I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but if I were to guess what would happen next year, we'll probably have a mixture of this online distance learning, and then we'll go back to school. It'll be kind of like I want to say like an A and B day, kind of like what we have, but it'll be like half the school will go to school, and people will be social distancing, or I don't even know how it's gonna work, but um, we'll see what happens. Okay, but just real important though, just make sure to turn in progress each week. Spend about I think it said like 35 to 40 minutes on your assignments. Okay, but I'm just giving you guys checks each week on like you're just working on something with art. I'm not like really nitpicky. Unless I don't. If you only worked on it for 5 minutes, I'll probably call you out on that. But again, I'm not really nitpicky on like um, grading this quarter. As long as you do the work, you'll get the 10 points each week. And it's not really a lot of work that I'm giving you. And it's kind of like tedious probably to sit and watch the long videos. So I'm gonna just keep this one short. So we're gonna end the video on here. Okay, but again, just let me know if you have any questions. Email me. Hopefully, I can give you guys. I'm hoping to. I'm gonna give you guys feedback. By Monday on your own projects, and stay safe and take care, everybody.